If I was dying and the only way I could be saved was by taking one of your eyes.
My eyes.
One of your
What
eyes.
disease do you have that you will be saved with an eye?
Mystery disease. We haven't found it yet. Okay. And I'm dying. And like you have to give me one of your eyes to save me. And if particularly you don't give me your eye, I will die. Would you give me your eye?
Yeah, I guess I have to.
You'd live like aise?
Yeah, I could wear like an eye patch and that'd be a whole thing. It'd be my
No.
statement piece. I'd decorate it, bejewel it.
That's pretty optimistic. I'm not sure if I would like.
I didn't expect you to. That's why I even asked that question. Hi, we are
NoonaTalk.
I'm Zara.
And I'm Sophia.
And today we're back with a brand new Kdrama or Kflop
episode. Woo!
But before we get into all of that, we are NoonaTalk, a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-drama, K-culture, K-beauty, everything that you need to know, especially if you're a Desi stan. But even if you're not, we welcome you anyway. You can watch us here on YouTube, so subscribe and like this video before we get into it. But if you just want audio versions, we're on all podcasting platforms like Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, especially if you're on Spotify. Special shout out if you're one of our followers. If you aren't, you can follow now and get a shout out next video.
But yeah, you can follow us on Instagram for all of our fun content, see our reels, see what we are talking about, what we're up to, what we're eating, where we're traveling, all of those things. And what are we doing this episode?
So this episode is one of our series which is called K-Drama or Kflop, where we watch the first episode of popular and famous K-dramas and decide whether it's worth watching, which means it's a K-drama, or not, which means it's a K-flop. And this week we have
Dr. Cha with Jung-hwa. So, do you know who Jung-hwa is?
No.
Okay, so Jung-hwa is like one of the most OG K-pop idol pop stars of Korea. She was known as the Madonna of Korea, and she recently actually made a comeback with Refund Sisters, where she made music with Lee Hyori, Hwasa, and Jessie.
Oh, that's so exciting!
Yeah, you guys should check that out. Synopsis is the series follows the story of Cha Jung-suk, a housewife of 20 years who becomes a first-year medical resident.
Is it? I can't tell if it's comedy or drama.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But it seems interesting. It's giving like back to school, so there is a lot of like elements for comedy, like you know, Mehuna.
Oh, okay, great example. Okay. So I think it's time for us to
get into it.
Yeah. I have 3 words. What was happening?
Okay.
Okay. That.
Close enough.
Yeah, very close. I refer to my previous question. I can't tell if it's comedy or drama.
So this show was drama, but the music told us it was comedy.
Yeah, and I think just given the what's happening next teaser that we get for the next episode, it did feel like comedy
and drama.
Yeah, actually.
But yeah, okay, let's start with what happened. So we start the show with Jung-hwa, who is Dr. Shah, and she's getting her freckles removed. But so there's a lady who used to be a doctor, and then she's
Did she become a doctor, or did she just study to be a doctor?
I don't know. She was a resident at some point.
She was. Yeah, you're right. Flashback where they do show her.
Yeah, and then there's like basically her husband's pretty shitty. She's a great housewife, like Tulsi vibes.
Very self-sacrificing.
Tulsi.
Yeah, but like very like the mother-in-law lives with them and she's awful.
And and the kids are regular and the husband's trash as usual. And he's also having an affair with someone he's also a surgeon.
Oh wait, it's not just the kids are regular. The son is an intern with the father in the same medical college.
Yeah, that. And then he's having an affair with one of his colleagues.
Who was his college girlfriend?
Oh yeah, that too. And basically a lot of shit happens, and then Jung-hwa gets like some liver disease because her mother is feeding her trash medicine.
Yeah, neem hakimi medicine.
Yeah, and then she's dying, and the only way she can live is if her husband gives her some part of his liver. And the mother-in-law is like, nahi. And then he's like, okay, mummy. And yeah, then she almost dies. Then how does she get saved? Kya hota hai?
Oh, we don't know that. We don't know yet how she gets saved.
Oh, we don't know that?
No, we don't see it in the first episode.
Yeah, basically she comes back to life, and then she sees him right there, and she realizes that if he had given her the kidney, he wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And then she like calls him up. And yeah, that's how it ends.
It was, yeah. So basically, just a housewife who gets ridiculed quite a lot for being a housewife, but also like an integral part. I don't know. It was a very strange line that they worked where it was like, oh, you must be a housewife because we don't need you to work. But also, look at you, sad housewife. Oh, she also meets some like other doctor who ends up being her doctor, and what it feels like is going to be the romantic.
Valid. He's like the only person who cares about her in this entire show. Also, her kids are so trash, bro. If I like spent 20 years of my life raising these people, I would have been like, bye.
Yeah, no, so let's break it down in like, I mean, I think we've said what we need to do, but anyway, let's break it down in like pros and cons. Give a pro. I think it was an interesting like concept. Like the housewife thing is very relevant given how Asian society is. Yeah. It was very interesting to see how she did have to like cow down to her husband, to her mother-in-law, and that was like a very normalized thing. And she wasn't allowed to like even small things were blown up, like the fact that she didn't salt the soup was like a whole thing. Like, oh, why didn't you salt the soup? Because you're at home all day doing nothing.
Yeah, it was very much like a Indian serial, very extremely like Choti Bahu or whatever. These are like the exact shows. Like I've seen my grandmother watch the same things, so it felt very reminiscent of that. So if you like that, maybe you'd enjoy it. I think it must be relatable to a lot of people, of course, because who hasn't had a bad mother-in-law? We don't know. But I'm sure a lot of people have.
Yeah. What's your pro?
Yeah, like it wasn't like a bad show. It was okay. Yeah, I think the plot was interesting. And I think it also tells you about the harms of not eating certified medication. Like, don't take your medicine off of the street.
Oh, that's really, yeah, I would have never thought of that.
And also the fact, no, but what I didn't like is they don't address it. Like, if my mother was feeding me some medicine which gave me life-endangering liver disease, I would not be talking to her nicely.
How, but she wouldn't have known.
So?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So is a good point. So is a good point, yeah. Okay, let's get on to the real meat of this, the cons.
It was so slow, first of all. Really?
No, because okay, no, you're right, it is slow. Because I feel like the entirety of the first episode could have been the first 10 minutes of the episode, and the rest of it could have been what is actually going to happen in the show, because all of this was setting the stage for what's going to happen in the show.
Which is why we need like the first episode, which makes sense.
But it was too long.
What are you saying? It felt like, I'll tell you what it felt like. Honestly, I don't know whether it's the pacing or the way it was edited, directed, cut, whatever it was. It felt like someone was just narrating the show. Ki ab ye hua, acha phir ye hua, phir wo hua. Like there was no continuity, or like you couldn't even get invested in a single thing because you just moved on to the next thing, where first she's getting her hair done, then she gets into this car, like someone on the bus dies, then she's like, I'm a doctor, I'm not. Like all of those things are so random. And then suddenly she gets liver disease, and it's just like really weird. A graph dikhate hain jisme uska like one of the
levels is just like
spiked off the charts, and then she's just dying. It's really weird. I didn't like the way it was conveyed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all of this could have just been 10 minutes of her.
No, it was. I feel like it was shorter. Like this could have been 2 episodes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like but jaldi ki ab ye hua, phir ye hua, phir ye hua, phir ye hua, and then it's done. And that's like.
Oh, but that's the thing. That's not what the show is about.
Sure,
which is why
I get it.
I mean, like, let's not spend so much time on like her softly speaking in the emergency room.
No, because if we're establishing like character evolution, then we can't just have the entirety of her background in 10 minutes and then now she's a cool person. Like, that's not how it, like, I don't know.
I guess. I feel like it was very long though. Like to me, it was just very long. Like the pacing of it was super off. And like we said in the beginning, where there were just like really intense moments, but with comedy music in the background.
All the time. Like she's dying and there's like ting, 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 ting. Like what?
Or like the whole thing where the husband didn't want to donate his organs and the mother was like, oh, you can't donate the organs. And it's this really intense thing, but there's boppy music in the background.
Yeah, also, you can donate the organs. Just because your mom said no, you're like a 50-year-old man. Like, did your mom say, yes, go have that affair? Nahin, na.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the affair, that was also crazy. Like, the way that...
I feel like that was the most realistic part of the entire show.
That they had an affair? Sure. But I feel like the emotional conveyance of every character, other than just like who's the main lady?
Ang Jangwa.
Ang Jangwa's mother. Dr. Cha's mother. Other than her.
Dr. Cha's mother was also the person who's everybody's mother in every K-drama.
I think she signed a contract with the management company being like, only the mother rules.
Yeah, like first of all, you are poisoning and killing your daughter. Have some shame, woman.
No, I just mean like other than her, none of the other characters understood how to convey emotion.
I feel like the mother-in-law was also like very apt, where she was like over dramatic when it required and cold when not. But I'll tell you the weirdest thing was like Amjangma and her husband's relations, where she took it very lightly. Initially, like first half, it was very like, oh, we just sleep in different bedrooms, and then she tries to get cozy with him, and all of this is like in a very comedic tone. And then suddenly he's having an affair, and suddenly she's like, "Tum mujhse pyar nahi karte."
Does she know about the affair?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't know.
And then beach mein there was this other plot where her mother took in.
What? Oh yeah,
the person was
they never explained this, that the mother.
It was just a throwaway line.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like, you took us in, but now mother is like, this is the money that I have, and then they're like, oh no, we can't give you the liver, and it's just like, who are these people? Like, that's what I mean. When it's like these things can come up like over time as the plot evolves, whereas this is like, sab kuch hi ek usme dal diya, and like.
It was really messy. It was very messy. And
it felt like just a writer's room when you sit and like throw ideas and then you have to edit it out. I feel like the editing of the script didn't happen.
And that's really similar of what I'd say about the White Knight character, where like the guy who's come in, we don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's a doctor.
I guess we can find that out over time.
I mean, sure, but it just like, there was no reason for me to root for them just yet.
Sure. No, I get that. But like, that's what I feel, where you have to let things build. And the way it was done was it did establish some things, but it didn't like build up to things. IDK. It was just.
Okay. Then that brings us to the most important question. Was it a K-drama or a Kflop?
I feel like if you have watched the episode up till now, you will understand how I truly feel. It's a K-drama. I'm kidding. It's a Kflop. I don't want to watch it. I really feel like there was the scope with the story, like what they were giving the scope, and I get it, where she has a transformation, and that's what they show later, where she's going to live her life by her rules and not be the Adarsh Patni and the Adarsh Bahu and the Adarsh mother.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to echo it. It was horrible to sit through. I disliked all of it. I don't understand why this is popular. Is it popular because like older ladies are watching,
which makes sense,
feeling like something? Yeah. I guess so. Like if it mirrors your struggles, I understand.
But it could have been done better.
It could have absolutely been done better. It was so bad. And like, I can't point to anybody in that entire show and be like, oh, achhi acting. Even like there was nothing good going on. The music was off. There was interesting plot, but they couldn't translate it into screen. The acting was awful.
And the kids. I hated the kids.
I did not realize.
Yeah, because your mother is dying, okay? And you're just like chilly sitting having dinner. Like,
yeah, to be fair, that one scene where the son is like super stoically like, father, I think it would be good idea if you donate your liver to mother.
Yeah, like go there, comfort her, she's crying, everything's happening, and you're comforting your grandmother who is evil. Like, sharam bhi nahi aayi. useless.
True. No,
Don't have
like
kids.
every segue. Everything about the show was so bad. Like honestly, if you've watched our other K-drama or K-flop episodes, I think I've only said this about Descendants of the Sun so far. But honestly, this was a worse viewing experience than Descendants of the Sun because there was at least like
relative flow in plot.
Right. It was an annoying plot, but there was still something happening. Flow. Here, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I said that
I made
so many times.
notes. Okay, I
I'm
made
so
notes.
ready for this.
And my notes are bad music, tone setting is terrible, can't tell if it's comedy, kuch bhi chal raha hai.
Honestly, it was very kuch bhi chal raha hai, and it was very difficult to sort of understand how I was supposed to feel about what was happening on screen.
And while you did say so many things happened, but somehow it felt like slow, not slow, maybe it was just a drag. Like
Yeah, it was just badly written.
like sitting through an hour of that was wouldn't recommend it to any of you. But if any of you have watched it and you did like it, tell us why. And if you are planning on watching it, don't watch something else. We have a whole playlist of K-drama and K-flop, and there are lots of K-dramas that you should definitely check out. So,
Comment down below whether or not you will be watching the show or not. Based on our review.
Yeah, or maybe you're so curious. You're like, is it so bad? I have to see it for
how
myself.
bad can it be?
Yeah. Let's challenge that. Maybe that's what the director thought.
Oh, he was like, I have money, let's make something awful. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. Will it be about a K-drama? Will it be about K-pop? Or will it be about something else altogether? We also do reactions here on our YouTube channel and on our podcasting platforms. So if there's anything you want us to react to, make sure to comment down below or send us a DM on Instagram. We are at NoonaTalk, exactly like it sounds. I was Zara.
And I was Sophia. We'll see you next time. Bye.